So I was at church today, and this guy asked me where I got my seminary education. I told him, and he's like, "Oh, it's a little bit more of a progressive liberal type of seminary." And he's like, "That's not real good." And I'm like, "Oh, like, why do you say that?" And he said, "Well, I'm much more conservative. I have a much more traditional feel for things." And he's 92 years old, right? But he said, "Chad, I'm trying, but I just can't fully get there. This is how I kind of grew up." And I told him, I was like, "Yeah, man, that's totally fair. Like, it would be really hard as somebody at that age to tell them to just throw away their whole life of beliefs and all." Now, and this is an open and affirming congregation. Keep that in mind. That's an open and affirming congregation. And I like the fact, like, he welcomes people in, he loves them, but he may struggle with some things. I don't know exactly where he's at on that, but I know he obviously struggles with some things. But I think there has to be a way in which we can coexist in a place of faith through our struggles, because I don't want to see anybody in the LGBTQA plus community be excluded from a place of faith. And I want to make sure the space is safe for them and loving for them. At the same time, I also don't want to exclude people that I may disagree with or that others may disagree with, because simply that's keeping people away. We have to figure out how to do this well, how to coexist, and how to have some discussions across the table. I grew up in a more conservative area of Indiana. I grew up in a Presbyterian church, much more traditional, conservative kind of church. And it was only through other people, my own seminary journey, me bringing questions, being able to ask questions, being able to unpack some of the things I was taught. It was a long journey for me. I mean, you're talking 10 to 15 years worth of work, prayer, and discernment, and studying, and listening, and reading, and writing, and all this stuff to get where I'm at today. It's a journey. So to ask people just to change like that, it's probably a little unfair. The space has to be safe for all people. And that's something that's really just kind of stirring with me right now is how do I create that space well for individuals to be able to struggle and to be able to come authentically who they are.